Hello everyone. This is just a quick video to help you with some tips to help baby sleep better. This is definitely for young moms that are battling a bit with little one's sleep, moms that need some help and guidance when it comes to sleep training. Now, there's two forms of sleep training, so there's actually quite a lot of forms of sleep training, but you get the really intensive cried out method, and then you get the sort of more gentle method. The gentle method takes longer. I personally haven't tried the cried out method, so I'm not sure how long that takes. I'm not sure how effective it is, and I'm not sure the psychological effects on it. I'm not saying it's good or bad or whatever, but I found that gentle sleep training was much better for me. It was much easier for me, and I've done it now successfully with both my little girls. Hannah's 3.5, and Eve is just over 14 months now. So with Hannah, I started it a bit later, whereas with Eve, it was a lot earlier because I knew the tricks of the trade and I felt a lot more comfortable doing it. So, I think all moms sort of know what they need to do, but they really need that push to do it. And I think with us, we're kind of like, we get comfortable in the routine. So we know that maybe rocking baby for 10 minutes, baby falls asleep, we put baby down in cots, and that works for us. And we know that's only going to take us 10-15 minutes of our night time or of the evening. But you'll find as baby gets older, they become sort of dependent on these habits, and the habits take longer. So you might find you went from rocking baby for 10 minutes, you might now find that you have to rock baby for 25 minutes. So the habits, they do become an issue further down the line as baby gets older. Now, with sleep training, I wouldn't really recommend any form of sleep training in any baby younger than 6 months. I think, the first 6 months of a baby's life are very unpredictable. Their eating habits, their sleeping patterns, their developmental biology is changing constantly. So it's very hard to sort of get them on a set routine, a predictable routine. And it's also not, I wouldn't say it's a good thing to start sort of sleep training them. It just depends on what form of sleep training you're doing. But when a baby gets over sort of 6 months, this is when I'll start, this is when it's best to start looking into a technique that's going to work for them. Now, there are different forms. So there's three things that interrupt sleep. Those are dummies, illness, and holiday. So I wouldn't try and do any sleep training if, say, for instance, you are planning on going on a holiday, your little one's not well, or you're not ready to get rid of the dummy. I think when it comes to sleep training, the two hardest habits to try and break is baby falling asleep on the boob and baby using a dummy. Now, I know it's very easy for moms to give baby the dummy. I used to do this with Hannah. I used to give her the dummy. I used to put her in a cot, even awake, and then she would go to sleep. And that would be amazing. It would be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But then it came to a stage where she would wake in the evening. She would wake between that sort of time I put her down till, like, so into sort of an hour of her falling into a deep sleep, because in the beginning stages of that sleep, they're in a light sleep. And, every time her dummy fell out, I'd have to go and stick it back in. She'd cry, I'd have to put it back in, and then she would go to sleep. Now, this was also creating gas in her, which wasn't really good, and that kept her up for the rest of the night. I also found it came to a stage where, around about sort of 5 to 7 months, where she, I was constantly from the night feed. So when I fed her, burped her, put her back down, gave her a dummy, I found that every time it fell out, she was crying for me and I had to go and put it back in. Some nights I was up 7 times between her, like, feed between 2 in the morning and 7 when, say, she woke up. So, it just wasn't working for me. And I thought, I'm exhausted. I have to then spend the whole day with baby. I can't continue like this. I have to find a solution especially for the dummy. Now, there are two ways to get rid of the dummy, two ways to wean off the boob. They're very similar, same wean off a bottle. Now, both my girls never had bottles. They have like sippy bottles for their water, but they've never had sort of Tommy Tippy bottles or stuff like that. They've both been breastfed. Hannah was breastfed till I think 16 months, and Eve, I'm still breastfeeding now at 14 months. So I've never had to give them a bottle, which I'm really, really grateful for. So if baby is on a bottle, I think these are the three hardest things to move past is getting baby off the bottle, getting baby off the dummy, and getting baby off falling asleep on the boob. Now, you can breastfeed in the night till, whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to breastfeed them in the night till 2 years old, go for it. It's totally up to you. It's totally what you want, but I love my sleep. I need good sleep. So I tend, when Eve was also waking 3 times in the night, I said, no, this is not going to happen. So by 7 months, I cut the night feed. And, some people might say that's early and that's fine. It's definitely personal preference. But they do say that baby is, by 6 months, baby can easily sleep through the night without a night feed. I also think 6 months is a bit early. I think actually with Eve it was more 9 months that I cut out the night feed. So I think, it just depends on you, your preference, and how you feel about it. You can keep that night feed for as long as you want, but you will see that the longer you keep the night feed, the more night problems there are. Sorry about my phone, just getting messages. So I think the sooner you cut the night feed, the better. If you want a good night's sleep, if your whole family wants a good night's sleep, you A, need to cut the dummy, B, need to cut the bottle, stop baby falling asleep on the boob, and cut the night feed, okay? I know this seems, it seems almost impossible at some stages, but it's not. A bad habit can take 3 days to break, okay? If it's an extremely bad habit, maybe a bit longer, but it truly is more simple than you making it out. Like I say, it is our resistance to that change. There is the solution. We know the solution. I'm sure we've read up about the solution loads and loads of times, but it's you initiating the process. It's you initiating the solution. And like I always say to the moms that I talk to, the first night is the worst. So the first night of taking the dummy away, the first night of weaning, the first night of shushing and patting baby in the cot is the hardest. But day after day it gets easier and easier, and you can actually come to a point where you can put baby down in their cot, and then you can leave the room and walk out, and baby will fall asleep on their own, sleep through the night, wake up in the morning. And that's, I think, the goal for all moms. You want good sleep, your baby needs good sleep. It's not about wanting good sleep for your baby needs sleep for development, for growth. They need their good sleep. So don't just think you're doing it for yourself, you're also doing it for your child. And you'll find during the day your child will be happier, they'll be more energetic because they're well rested and had a great sleep. So I see we're already on 9 minutes. I'm not going to take this any longer than 10 minutes. I will continue to talk about these things. So just subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, and then I'll go into detail more about removing the dummy, removing the breast, weaning off the boob, weaning off the bottle. And then really these are gentle techniques. So I'm not going to encourage you to do cry it out or anything like this. This is really steps you're going to take to help baby fall asleep gently and on their own, and encourage them to form these good sleep habits, because that is going to be beneficial not only for you but the whole family, okay? Whether you have one baby, whether you have two, whether you have 3, 4, 5, it's all just about gently teaching baby how to sleep on their own. Please let me know if you found value from this, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like to cover. Just pop it in the comments. I'd be happy to help with anything. Hope you have a wonderful day, guys, and see you soon.